Well, hello and welcome to my own magic reviews. My name is Mike Maione, and this is another of my own reviews. Just a reminder, I buy what I review so I can be objective, and I hope my review's unbiased. This week I'm reviewing 3 different sets of marked cards. They are all the reader variety. That is, the value and the suit of the cards are printed right on the card backs. There are no little marks or codes that you have to decipher. The decks are the Daredevil Deck by Card Sharks, DMC's Elites, and Penguin's marked cards. Now, if you're thinking about buying and using marked cards, you probably have a few questions that you want answered right up front. First, can you see the markings without your glasses or in dim light? Second, can your spectator see the markings? Well, I'll rate each deck on those parameters as well as a few others. Oh, and you probably would like to see what a card from each of those marked decks looks like. The card manufacturers don't show a marked card on their websites, and sadly you won't see any in this video. But I hope to tell you enough so that you can make an intelligent decision about which deck might be right for you. And if you watch this video to the end, I'll tell you how you can get to see what a marked card from each deck looks like. Let's take a look at the Daredevil deck. The Daredevil deck is it's designed by Henry Evans, and it's produced by Card Shark, the German company. The markings are incorporated into the design of the standard Phoenix card back. And the card value appears in only 2 places on the card because it's gigantic. It can only fit in 2 places on the card. And as you can see, they're pricey. If you get it with a disc that it has Henry Evans' presentation on it and some other things, well, you'll pay $45 for one deck. But if you just do what I did and just buy the deck by itself, well, then you'll only pay $25. Now, can you see this deck of cards from a distance? Oh, you betcha. It's as I said, the value is printed large on the card, so you'll be able to see it. Now, it's incorporated into the design, so it's not like black ink printed. No, it's incorporated in the design of the card. But you can't see it easily in low light, and you can see it easily from a distance, and it's very easy to tell what the card is because you'll have a K and a heart for the King of Hearts, so it's easy to determine. And the spectator can see the marks, so you have to determine whether or not you're going to allow the spectator to actually hold the card. If he's on stage with you, maybe because he's going to be a little ill at ease, he can take the card. But if he studies the back of that card, well, he doesn't even have to study it. He's going to tell pretty easily that you're using marked cards. Is it a familiar looking back? Well, I don't think Phoenix cards are totally magic-y because they look a bit like the bicycle cards. They're printed with the same ink that bicycle red riderback cards are. And is it good for these decks? Good for close-up? No. Yeah, the deck was designed for parlor, stage, or maybe video use, and that's it. Not for close-up. What do I give the Daredevil deck? Well, I actually give it 4.5 stars. I think it's a terrific deck if you are a stage or a parlor performer and you want to do a card trick, and you need to know the value of a freely chosen card. It's a great deck for that. Let me show you how easy it is to identify the card with a Daredevil deck. Now, I wear glasses for reading. I have to have my glasses, otherwise I can't see. I really can't read without my glasses. Marked cards, they're not part of my repertoire because I can't see and I have to wear the glasses in order to use the marked cards. So, but watch with the Daredevil deck. No glasses. I'm in a parlor environment. I turn away. She says, stop right over there. Or she selects a card. I show her the card. And then in the process of putting it back in the stack, I see the value. And in this case, it was 6 of spades. The DMC Elites, well, they have a big number and value and suit on them as well as similar in a way to the Daredevil cards, but it's not quite as large. So you're not going to be able to see it from as far a distance. And it is a little bit more difficult to read than the markings on the Daredevil back. Can you see this in low light? Yeah, pretty well. You can see it pretty well in low light, and you can see it from a distance. And it's not 100% easy to determine what the card is because they use what they call an optical marking system. So it's not. It's very hard to describe, but it's sort of like negative space. So the card value and suit is in negative space formed by those little diamonds that are around the surface of the card. And it jumps out to you if you know where to look and how to read them. But it can fly right past the spectator. Will the spectator see the marks? They may, but it's not likely. It's not likely. It's more likely that they suspect you're using marked cards, but they really won't be able to see it, even if they flip the cards, which is the standard way you tell if you're using marked deck. No, they've done some ingenious work in the diamond. So, well, just let me say that's not going to give it away. Is it a familiar looking card back? No, especially the forest green cards. The version 4 is forest green. That's the one I showed you. And I don't think that's familiar looking at all. Green cards are just not what people are accustomed to looking at, in my view. So they may think something's fishy there when you pull out a green deck. I don't know. Certainly, a magician will look at the card and scratch their head. Well, that's a weird looking deck. And it is a weird looking deck from that perspective. So I take off a little bit of a score for that. Can you use these cards for close-up? Absolutely. You can use these cards for close-up, and you can use these cards for parlor because it is easy enough to see what the card value is, and the spectator won't. So from that perspective, yes, yeah, they're good for close-up, good for parlor, good for stage. What do I give the DMC Elites? I give them 4.5 stars as well. Now, there's a pattern starting here. You can see it. 2 cases don't make a pattern, but I gave the other cards, the Daredevil deck, 4.5 stars too, because both of these decks are great decks. They're really terrific sets of marked cards. You just have to decide which one may be right for you. Okay, so let's see how easy it is for this nearly blind guy to identify a card using the DMC marked cards. Okay, so again, I'm in a let's say a parlor situation or even close up here. Okay, she picks a card. She takes a look at the card. I'm looking away, and in the process of putting it back into the deck, I see it was the 2 of diamonds. That was pretty quick, wasn't it? At penguin marked cards, these are the best value. They're $10, and if you buy a whole brick, well, you're going to pay only $5 a deck. They're so cheap, in fact, that some people just use them as their everyday cards. Which is great. The card value and suit are small, and they appear in numerous places on the card back, so you can even see them when you spread the cards. But like most marked decks, you need to be close to the markings to see them. And to be honest with you, unless I'm wearing my glasses, I really can't see them at all. Visibility in low light? No. Low light, you're going to have a hard time seeing them. So it's poor visibility in low light. Visibility from a distance? Not at all. These are not the kind of cards that you're going to use in a parlor situation where somebody's holding a deck or the cards far away from you. So visibility from a distance? No. Not at all. Easy determining the card value? Yep, it's very easy to determine it. If you can see the marks, you know exactly what the card is. So yeah, that's easy enough. Can the spectator see the marks? I put it kind of near the pour, but not 100%. And the reason is because if you're using marked cards correctly, the spectator shouldn't even suspect you're using marked cards. But if you happen to give the card and the spectator knew or suspected that you had marked cards and they started to study the back of the card, well, then they might be able to tell. They might be able to see the marks. And certainly if you use the riffle test, they would tell. So the spectator might see the marks. Is it a familiar looking back? Well, you betcha. The cards are maiden back cards, and the maiden back cards are, they come out of a box that looks like the regular rider back cards. And if you compare the back of a bicycle rider back to the back of a maiden card, well, it's hard to tell the difference, isn't it? But the image is slightly different. But I don't think anyone would really recognize the difference. They're so similar. So it's a very familiar looking back, and that's a plus. And are they good for close-up? Yeah, they're good for close-up. So what do I give penguin marked cards? Well, surprise, surprise. I give them 4.5 stars too. I'm only showing you today marked cards that I think are really cool. They all have some strengths and they all have some deficits. So you have to pick the cards that are right for the type of work that you do and the kind of presentations you want to make. When I think about the penguin marked cards, what's really cool about them is because they're maiden back cards, you could do all your tricks without standard maiden back cards and prove 100 times over that the cards are not marked, and then just switch the deck in, this marked deck in, and wow, that's going to be pretty powerful. So can I even identify quickly what a card is using the penguin marked cards? Let's see. Okay, remember, I need glasses. Okay, all right. That's the card. In the process of putting it back in the pack. Okay, 7 of spades. Yeah. Well, you can see how hard it was for me to read the back of a penguin marked card without my eyeglasses. With my eyeglasses, it would have been a lot quicker for sure. But without my glasses, I had to struggle. Of course, you would never use marked cards like in that manner. So don't let that put you off. They're great marked cards, as I said. Now, I really wanted to show you what a marked card from each deck looks like, but fellow magicians argued against that, and so I did not show you any of the marked cards in this video. But for those of you who made it this far in the video, if you want to see a card from each set, well then send me an email. Send it to mike@mikemaione.com and put marked cards in the subject line, and then you know what? I'll send you a picture of each of a card, just one from each marked deck, so that you can see the markings and you can see, can I really read this? Will a spectator be able to see this? Is this what I want? Is this the deck of cards that I want to use? So do send that. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. And when you do, there'll be a little icon over there, a little bell icon. Well, hit that bell icon. This way you'll be notified when I post another review. If you have some comments, give me a comment and I will respond. I try to respond to all the comments, and I like to read them too. So do comment. Hey, and if you're in the market for some original magic that you don't see at Penguin or Vanishing, some unique magic from me, well then go to my website. It's mikemaione.com, and hit the little products tab down at the bottom of the screen. You'll see some great magic that I've been producing. So until next time, well, have fun making magic happen.